Hello and welcome to the Blackout podcast, where I get to talk to amazing people who do amazing things. And today I have Amie Cunningham from Thief&Bandit. Finally, I've been trying to make this happen for 18 months.
Pre-COVID. way pre-COVID, yeah.
Yeah, how are you doing today?
I'm good. How
Thank
are you?
you for coming. I'm actually good. I'm good. You know how, you just say you're good, but I'm really good.
Oh, good.
So Thief&Bandit is let's actually start with Corona, right? So I think it was March or something. Anyway,
March 15th, my birthday.
What?
Yeah, that's when everything
How did you so do you have a plan for your birthday?
Yeah, we actually went out to a bar with some friends, but it was really at that cusp of should we be doing this right now? And then after, that was basically the last time we saw our friends, and then the lockdown happened.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah. I guess for you, how was that? Just with the business?
Yeah, well, we closed it down. We kind of did this thing where we ran a sale right before the lockdown. So it was a little bit scary because we got a ton of orders, and then we had to send our staff home. So I spent about a week contacting customers, asking them if they wanted to, cancel their order, if they just wanted to wait. And of all the orders we had, we only had one person want to cancel it, and everyone else was fine with waiting. So that was really quite nice. So that when we got back into the studio, and the seamstresses sort of trickled in, but my husband, Johnston, who's our head screen printer, he was able to go in by himself and work and sort of build up the fabric so that when everyone came back, we were good to go. So it actually worked out pretty well. So we didn't have to close down completely. We're still able to keep the money rolling in a little bit anyway.
So let's rewind a bit. Why did you start Thief&Bandit?
Well, it was, I feel out of necessity almost.
In what way?
Well, I went to school for art, for painting and sculpture. And, I was trying to find a way to make a living off my art. We're talking, what year? 2008, 2007, 2008. I was living in Richmond, Virginia with Johnston. Sort of newly married, sort of trying to figure out what I was going to do with my career as an artist. And I actually was invited to be in a t-shirt art show, just creating a design on a t-shirt.
Oh, your design on a t-shirt.
Yeah,
okay.
Just like a drawing or whatever. And I just did a very intricate drawing on a t-shirt with different colored Sharpies. And the response to it was really great. And I've always loved fashion. It's been something that I've been obsessed with since I was a little girl. In fact, I wanted to be a fashion designer before I got into drawing and art making. And, I don't know, one of my friends, it all fell into place in a weird way. One of my friends suggested that I start trying screen printing. She wanted to show me how to screen print, which is a process that I never actually did in art school. So I fell in love with the process of screen printing.
It's really hands-on.
Yeah, sure is. Yes.
What do you love about it?
Well, I love working with my hands, and I always have. So I think the different screens, the different combinations of colors, it was like painting, but it was really quick. And even the mistakes that you make can be quite beautiful, which is always something I'm really inspired by. So, I started making these t-shirts, and my friends, giving them to my friends, and then I think my husband and I took a trip back to New York, and I had a backpack full of them, and we just started selling them on the street outside of bars. And it was like a nice way to make some money off my art. It's like whatever you can do to make money. At this point, I was waiting tables and I just got really interested in screen printing, and I got inspired even by the misprinted T-shirts, which I would shred and make jewelry out of. So and that was another thing I used to do when I was a kid. I was constantly making something, whether it be art, drawing, painting, jewelry, whatever, crafting. I was always working with my hands. So it was kind of taking me back. Art school was really serious, and there was a lot of theory involved in art making, which wasn't very inspiring to me. But now that was behind me, I kind of got back to my roots of being an artist or a maker, and it was actually really exciting, and it had that DIY element, which I'm obviously really into as well. So yeah, I mean, I could keep going and keep telling you the spiral, the snowball.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, how do you go from like printing T-shirts to this?
Well, it's been 10 years, It's been 10 years since I started, and it's actually been really, really nice because I've been able to kind of work through my mistakes and sort of add people into the mix and collaborate. So one thing is I don't sew. I do not know how to sew. But when we were living in Richmond and I was printing the T-shirts, then I started doing some scarves and jewelry, and we were going to craft fairs and like really hitting the ground running with that, and starting to bring in some income. And I also, this is kind of a really huge part of it, is when I really decided to take the business super seriously, I was pregnant with our first child.
Wow.
And I feel like that really kickstarted my, I got to get this going because I want to make sure that I have something to work on after I have this baby. And, I want to be a mom, but I also want to maintain my practice in some way, so, our oldest, Wolfgang, he was 4 months old, and Johnston and I were traveling, doing craft shows with him.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so
that's crazy.
They really, our children have really been a super, important part of the process. They just come with us, and and I think they really enjoy it, and they're really proud of their mom and the business that Johnston and I have created. So it's been great, but yeah, to get back to your question, I started to think about how the printed T-shirt could be more, and then I honestly wanted to start making clothes for Wolfgang because I thought, man, it would be really cool to see these prints on him. So I hired a student from the fashion department at Virginia Commonwealth University, where Johnston and I did some teaching, and she came in and
what were you teaching?
Our foundation.
Oh.
Yeah. So
see, now that's something I didn't know.
Yeah. I taught our foundation. So essentially, it was actually taught some sculpture classes as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. And a lot of those students came to work for me.
Oh.
And I'm still in contact with them now. So this was 10 years ago.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway. Yeah. So yeah, the baby leggings then turned into adult leggings. And then we just kept, as the years kept going on, we kept adding new garments, new styles, and then flash forward to today, and we're doing so much stuff.
At what point did you know? I mean, obviously, by the time it grew, you knew, okay, there's something here. But at what point did you decide on that name? Because that name, I think that, the pieces look great, but that name is distinct.
Yeah. Well, I feel like, I think most artists would agree, or creative people would agree that inspiration is everywhere. So we do a lot of stealing and taking, and I'm just very upfront about that. I mean, obviously, you have to make it your own.
Definitely.
But when people ask me, what are your inspirations? It's really hard for me to pinpoint because it's literally everywhere. I'll see a color combination, on the side of the road, ink washing down the drain, and I'm like, oh, wow, that's a really great color combo, which could inspire a new print colorway. It could maybe even inspire a new print. So I like the kind of cheeky nature of the name. But yeah, that's kind of.
'Cause one of
I steal a little bit, but we all do.
Yeah,
all great artists do.
actually, it's true. One of my favorite artists that I follow on Instagram, read his books. His name is Austin Kleon, and he has a book called "Still Like an Artist," and like he has these 10 kind of like not commandments, but like how to still like an artist,
right?
And it's true because like what is inspiration? You see something you like and you want to make it your own, right? So
right.
yeah, so like I love the name, and then so Virginia. When did you move to Halifax, and why did you move to Halifax?
It was 2012. At Johnston, yeah. So, well, we were pregnant with our middle child, and we didn't have health insurance. So I just
the United States. Oh my God, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I was like, I said, this is a great opportunity to move back home to Canada. And then my mom and dad, they were here too. So of course there was that added element of help with the kids.
Yeah.
And Johnston and I were pretty much self-employed. So we just made the change, made the move. I mean, I moved around a lot growing up, so it wasn't a big deal for me. For Johnston, I think it was, but I was happy to get home, and I also just knew how, Wolfgang had bumped his head and gotten 7 stitches, and it was $3,000. So I just thought, we're gonna have 2 boys, like,
oh boy,
and we're artists, like, let's go home, let's get the healthcare, we'll start up the business, and his art career we'll work on that there, and so far so good.
Wow. Yeah, no, I mean, it's crazy that like America, this super prosperous nation, doesn't have like work. I remember like when I tell my friends in the US that like my knee hurt or something, and I just went to the hospital and I got x-rays and blah blah blah, and Justin is gonna kill me. But like and then I walked out, right? And I didn't pay anything. And they're like, how is that possible? I'm like, how is that not possible?
I know.
Anyway, yeah. Okay, so that led you to move here.
Right.
And like, did you just get into Thief&Bandit right away? Or
right away? I was hiring people before we moved. I was contacting.
I like you were pregnant with your second one.
Yeah,
oh
so that was
God.
again. It was kind of like, okay, here we go. I think I worked well under pressure.
So like you moved right straight down to Halifax, or?
Yeah. We were able. My mom and dad actually found us a house that was pretty affordable, and we just said, okay. We didn't even see it. We just got it, and yeah, it all kind of. I mean, obviously, I'm probably forgetting like a lot of the things that were hard about it, but I know Johnston had a hard time because his family lives there, and of course we're moving here to be close to my family, but yeah, it was pretty smooth transition, and I called the Dalhousie costume department to ask for potential seamstresses to come work for me, and I was able to find 2, and I chatted with them over the phone, and as soon as we got here, I set up a little studio in our house for one of them to work in, and we did that for a little while, and we set up our print studio in the garage. We actually built a garage onto our house to house the print table.
Yeah, I've been to your studio. The print table is like, how long is that thing? It's huge.
17 feet.
Yeah, it's fucking. Did you have that in your house?
It was in the we built a garage for it.
It's massive.
Yeah. We learned the process of that repeat printing. So we print fabric yardage. So literally a 60-inch, 5-foot roll of fabric will roll down the table and then print it like wallpaper printing. And we actually, before we left Richmond, we were introduced to this gentleman who had a wallpaper printing company. He printed wallpaper for historical films. So he was working on the Lincoln film. Yeah, and anyway, he showed us the process of doing it. So we took notes, and then we got here, and Johnston really took that project on, and yeah, he made it. He made the table and he made it work. I mean, there was some trial and error, obviously, but
Before that, what were you printing? Like, what were you? How?
just like I was printing. I was the printer. So, and I
Oh.
was pretty pregnant, so I was printing just small little tables of fabric. It wasn't
Mm.
anything with the repeat happening. It was very. It seems crazy that I was doing that then, but
I'm super pregnant too.
yeah, yeah.
And then another thing, like your studio, I swear to God, like every time I come to your studio, I'm like, you should have like a day where people just come and see what happens in there,
Mhm.
because like with each, so when you see the clothes and then each pattern, it's like a different like each color is a different thing, and then
Yeah,
you kind of have to do it like, so if it's 4 or 5 colors, you have to do it 5 times,
right,
and you have to do it 5 times for this massive thing.
right, yeah. It's a lot. It's a lot of work, but the the result is really great,
Right, right,
and
right.
it's really the whole process is really magical, and I think my artistic sensibility comes through in how it's done,
Mm,
and there's always little offset elements in the print, and it makes it unique. It's not so much, oh no, we got to scrap this. It's
mm,
like, well, it's hand printed. There's going to be little differences in the print job, and it's going to make it special for our customers. And for the most part, people
hmm.
are really interested and excited about
And
that.
it's all done in house too.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when did you move from the garage to the place in Barrington Street?
Yeah, well, that was a year and a half ago, I
What
would
led to
say.
that move?
No, just space. We were crowded. We actually moved out of the garage and into a another small space where our seamstresses were just working in that small space. And then we just decided, like, this is, it's time. It's
Mm-hmm.
time to take the plunge and, pay the big rent. And we found this beautiful 2,200 square foot studio, and we could do it all there together,
Mm.
which was really great. And it's worked out. Like, our sales have gone up, so we're able to afford it, and our staff are really happy with their working space as well and their conditions and stuff. So yeah, it's pretty nice.
That's great. So, and you said 2 years ago was the move?
It's like a year and a half ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, did like it look like what it looked like now right away, or?
Not really, no, because, well, we had a showroom in the space, which was directly in the center of the space, so customers could come in and actually shop, but the process was happening around them, which was pretty special.
Mm-hmm.
But then with COVID, we had to socially distance more, so we wanted the seamstresses to have their space, and we had to close down the showroom. So we closed the showroom, so we don't have customers coming in and out. But as you know, we're opening a retail space. So
Did you start online right away? At what point, actually, at what point did you start the online shop?
it was pretty much immediately. Yeah, I started an Etsy shop. So
That
my
was while you were here in
that
Virginia?
was in Virginia. So
Okay.
that was in 2009, and yeah, that was pretty great because we got featured early on, like on the main page of Etsy with
That
their
is
like
awesome.
with their maker series, and that really like kickstarted the business,
Mm-hmm.
and that mixed with all the craft fairs that we were doing, just a combination of those things, and handing out postcards, and just trying to build hype kind of thing was
Mm-hmm.
great because we had quite an online presence before we moved to Halifax.
Mm-hmm.
So for the most part, all of our sales were in the States. So we
Mm-hmm.
were shipping a lot to the States from here. And now, since we've been here for a while, it's almost like half and half. We've got a lot of Canadian customers, which
Mm-hmm.
is really nice. Yeah.
Yeah. And so when did the move from Etsy to like your own website happen?
Well, we still have the Etsy page, actually. Yeah, because we
Oh.
do get a lot of traffic there. It was probably, it was 2012 really when we moved here that we started our website, but we actually changed platforms last year to a Shopify site, and we had a local designer come in and upgrade, and it's been like gangbusters since then. Yeah.
Why did you decide to switch to Shopify?
Just I think the platform was a little bit better, and then there's the like integration with Instagram, and the shoppable Instagram I think has really been helpful.
Let's talk about Instagram.
Yeah.
Instagram is nuts. It's crazy. It's crazy. I don't know, like over 30,000 people now. When did that one start?
When did we start the Instagram?
Yeah.
Back in Virginia, right when Instagram came. I can't remember what year that was, but I started the Thief&Bandit.
When it was the weird blue little thing.
Yes.
I remember my friend showing me, because it was like, I thought it was just like a different Facebook. I didn't know what this thing was. Mm-hmm. But like, did you see where it was going? And is it like your artistic sense?
Yeah, I was pretty inspired by the platform right from the beginning. Also because it was a way for me to show our process. And that's really what it's been for the most part. You know, it's what gets the most engagement is when you're actually showing how things are made, and just the love and attention to detail, and, you know, the collaborative element too, which is really inspiring to me. So yeah, it's been, I mean, right now we're almost at 40,000 followers. Yep. So
I was wrong.
It's crazy.
How do you manage? Like, do you have someone that manages it?
My assistant Katie and I, we both
Wait, what doesn't she do?
I know Katie's.
What doesn't she
Katie
do?
is our everything girl, as you know. But yeah, she was actually a model of mine. That's how I met her. And
I was just about to ask. So she met to model.
She was like, I met her, and she did some modeling for me. And then when she graduated from art school, actually, I asked her if she wanted to work for me. I actually hired her under the START program here, it's great. And so since then she's been doing back-end website stuff. Well, she was our shop girl, and then when that stopped, she started working on website and doing more social media. Now she's tackling our TikTok page, which
one is also crazy too.
Yeah.
Like, you know what, you Thief&Bandit is so forward with things, because like most people didn't see TikTok as like that thing kids do, but you use it in a different way.
Well, I mean, I gotta be honest, like Katie's the one who spearheaded that project. I'm it's a little overwhelming to me, just TikTok in general, but yeah, I think it's really cool. It's really DIY. Like there's a lot of DIY culture in there, and a lot of kids, and I'm saying kids because there are kids, you know, on there that are, you know, making their own stuff and sharing how they make things. And, you know, I think that's really inspiring. You know, I love the youth, you know, I think it's really important as a designer and as somebody who's got to be, you know, aware of trends, whether it be in fashion or, you know, social media or whatever. I need to be aware of that. So I think it's important to have bring in these kids like right out of art school to like teach me like what's happening, you know. I mean, I feel like my finger's on the pulse pretty well, but you know, I'm inspired by other people. So I really do think that Thief&Bandit is I feel like it's a collaborative art project, because I have these talented seamstresses, and I have my designer Mitch that works with me, and he is, you know, we're just constantly vibing off of each other, and it's just a really beautiful like thing just to see it all come together. And I mean, essentially it's my vision. You know, I am the creative director and the owner of the company, but I really love like hearing everyone's idea and making sure that my employees feel like they are creatively fulfilled in their job, you know.
One thing I've noticed is that, you know, and that's like over the years of working with like my Avengers, as I call them, is it's okay to be good, but you are as good as the people you work with, right? So it matters a lot how you choose the people that work for you. What is your process when what is your process for hiring people that work at Thief and Bandit?
Well, most of the people that have been with me, especially for a long time, have been recommended by professors at their school. So I, as someone who used to teach, you always see that kid that's like, wow, they're a go-getter. Like they've got their shit together, And I have relationships with the professors at NASCAD and at Dal, and every once in a while I check in with them and I say, hey, do you have anybody who you think would be a good fit for me? And it's unbelievable. Like their recommendations are always like perfect. I mean, obviously I meet them and I want to vibe with them. I want somebody who is kind, I think that's really important to have. I don't like a lot of, stitch and bitch kind of things happening. I want everyone to be like on the same page, and constructive criticism is important. But yeah, I think it's just, I can kind of tell when they walk in, like if it's going to work or not, and there's always like that, there's a little bit of a style element too, where I'm like, yeah, like I like your style. I think this is going to work.
And everyone there just has this vibe about them. Like it's like the Thief and Bandit spirit around them. Cause like they are, I guess, willing to try things, open to listening to what, and then they like are not afraid to speak their mind.
Right.
So how do you get your staff to feel comfortable to bring ideas and stuff to you?
I'm just constantly like, what do you think? What do you think? What do you think? And that's like, we have our weekly meetings on Monday mornings, and we just
Monday morning. Oh my God! How did you choose Monday morning? Because actually, that's anyway. Finish.
Okay.
I'll tell you something about.
It's the start of the week, you know, like, and I'll be honest, like I haven't always been the most organized boss. Again, I'm not a business person. I think I am a business person, but like I didn't go to school for business. I went to school for art. I'm a creative first and foremost. So navigating having a staff and trying to make sure that all of their needs are fulfilled and my needs are fulfilled as a business owner has been really tricky over the years. And I've learned a lot, and I haven't been perfect. I'm very honest with them. I think showing humility is really important. I don't walk in there like, we're gonna, this is how it's gonna go and you better listen to me. That's not the way that I work. I've never felt comfortable if I had a boss like that, which I have in the past.
No.
And like, I mean, but there's a fine line, because you obviously want to make sure that stuff gets made and in a timely fashion, but I think the people that have decided to stick with me, I have heart-to-hearts with them. If they have an issue, I'm always like, please come talk to me. Like I'm, whether it be personal or business related, like I'm here I feel like I'm a mom of 3 boys, and I like caring for people. So I almost feel like I'm the mother to my staff as well, But I think we have pretty good relationships. So
yeah,
it's a nice. You were at the shop, you were filming, it's a nice little community, and
it is.
I feel like we all get really excited when good things happen. So
yeah.
I
was gonna say about so why did you decide on Monday for meetings?
Just beginning of the week. It's a fresh week.
I know. And most people don't like Mondays, but if you can get people into that, let's start this day to plan the next couple of days, it works like magic. So that's a nice trick. The new space, what's the story behind the new space? Like, did it come out of COVID or because you lost the showroom?
Yes, essentially, yeah. I mean, it's kind of a weird story with that, because Mitch, my designer, they're always finding stuff for me on Kijiji or Facebook Marketplace. Oh, Amie, you need to get this. You need to get that. He was like, Amie, you need to get this vending machine, because we could sell like accessories. Mass would be really cool, like little art project, And I was like, oh yeah, that sounds great. Yeah, let's get it. Not even thinking. Anyway, long story short is we have this giant vending machine, but no place to put it. We thought we could put it at the top of the stairs at the production space, and like customers could come in and get them. You know, we're making non-medical masks and that kind of thing. And anyway, the machine doesn't work. And
The machine doesn't
the
work?
machine doesn't work. And it was just this like crazy thing. But in the process of trying to find a space for it, I found a space for it.
Oh.
And it was a space actually I was looking at pre-COVID, and it was rented, but during COVID it actually fell through. So I was able to get a deal on it. It's literally across the street from the production space, ground floor, you know, decent rent. I signed a year lease to start. And I thought, you know, this will be a really interesting, like, art project. I kind of seeing it as it's a concept shop in that sense. We'll be selling Thief and Bandit, but then of course as we've gotten going with it, I'm like, well, you know, a lot of craft fairs are canceled. I have a lot of friends who are crafters, like locally. I could bring them in, and they could help. You know, I could try to help them sell their wares over the holiday season because they're not going to have the greatest outlet for that. So now I'm kind of, again, it's like this collaborative collective of makers who will be shown in this, you know, beautiful space, and I'm making a lot of the fixtures, and I feel like a lot of times with my business I design all the prints, but sometimes I get so involved in the back end logistics of the business that my making goes to the wayside, and that's a bit frustrating. So I'm making sort of sculptural elements for the space, so it'll be a really unique adventure, you know. But
when is it? Like, is it opening soon or?
October 15th is our soft opening. I think we're going to do some like private appointments for a few days just to kind of feel it out, how it's going to go. And then it'll be open to the public after that. I'm going to say like the 20th. We haven't really decided on an official public opening day, but it'll be a shop that's open 10 to 7. Again, I don't have the exact dates yet, but
Yeah.
we'll figure it out.
Okay, once we get the data, it would be great to like actually have people in this space because it's super beautiful, well lit, and this whole collaboration thing. I'm loving the idea of it. But one thing that is already at the store, and I saw the other day, was the eagle with a snake.
Yeah.
Is that like the logo for Thief and Bandit, or?
It's definitely like an iconography that is in my prints. So and I kind of like the play off Thief and Bandit with the eagle with the snake in its talons. But I'm really inspired by like wildlife and creatures, like snakes, whatever, and flora and fauna. Like that's something that's an element that's gone through my sculpture and painting, and you know, it's just always something that's there. But I thought it would be kind of cool to have a cool image instead of the logo of the brand, just to get people kind of what is happening here. It kind of piques interest.
Yeah.
Eventually we'll put up some like vinyl Thief and Bandit like somewhere, but yeah.
And how did you choose the color? Because one is green and one is golden.
It's like a white eagle and a green
white
snake.
and
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know. It just looks,
It just
cool.
went with it.
Yeah.
Okay, so I know you have a like with that's kind of where your focus is on now, getting this new space up and running. But once it's done, what's next?
That's a good question. I'll probably just continue to do my print design. I'm constantly drawing, sketching, doodling, and those things have sort of like fallen to the wayside a little bit. I'm trying to work on everything at once right now. But we will be planning for more collections. I mean, one thing that is really exciting is I bought a loom a while ago off of an ex-employee who moved to England. She was selling this beautiful loom, and for a while there we were using our scraps. So we have a lot of scrap fabric. Obviously, we're cutting fabric. We've got these beautiful hand-printed scraps. We're always trying to find ways to repurpose, reuse. We do patches. You know, we make little accessories out of them. But for a minute there, we were weaving our scraps And it actually is, it becomes this like beautiful sort of tapestry kind of situation. So what I want to do is get we have an employee who is a textile artist, and she's going to set the loom up, and we're going to start weaving.
How big is the loom?
It's probably like 10, I don't know, 8 by 10. I know, it's pretty big.
Yeah.
I can't remember exactly. It's been in storage for a while. But yeah, it's going to be really exciting because like Johnston, I love repurposing, and I have a hard time throwing things away. Not like him. I'm not a hoarder. But yeah, it's going to be really cool because we'll make garments out of these woven like tapestries, which is going to be really, really exciting. So we've done it in the past, and the results are great. It's very time consuming.
Yeah.
So but I'm excited about that. I'm excited about bringing in more artisans into the concept shop. Making more video. Like I'm always thinking of things to do. I will never be bored.
Yeah, I don't understand how people get bored.
I know.
I don't understand it.
I know. When my kids are like, I'm bored, I'm like, no, I'll figure out something for you to do. Come here.
Oh man, when I had Johnston here, I said I was gonna get you two together, and I need to make that happen because like, it's like there's him and there's you now. I want to see how you come together to make that magic happen.
Okay, yeah.
But thank you so much for coming on the podcast, and I can't wait to see the new space once it's open.
Yeah, thank you so much.